Hi everyone, I'm John. Welcome back to Southern Exposure. Well folks, here it is. It's the first weekend in September, and what does that mean? Tis the season for football. That's what it means. Well, unless you got to pay the rent, but we're not talking about that right now. We're going to cook something to eat. We got people coming over for the games. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be looking for something to eat. You can't just give them a pickle and a hot dog. That ain't going to work. They want something good. So today, I've got a pork butt, and we're going to do some pulled pork, and I'm going to show you how to do it. We've got 4 simple seasonings that we're going to use. That's not hard at all. This is one of the easiest things to cook. Now, of course, today we're cooking on the Pit Boss 1600 Elite. And this is going to take a few hours to cook. So we'll get this butt rubbed up, and we'll slap some flavor on it and throw it in the grill and get it ready. So stay tuned. Okay, folks, here's the seasoning I'm going to be using today. I have 4 of them, and they can be found online or in some of your stores if you look around. I'll drop a link in the description for all of the products that I'm using today to make it a little easier for you to find. So on our pork butt today, we're going to start out with some smoked salt and cracked pepper. That's by Pit Boss, the same people who make the grills. And we're going to start with that. And we're going to come back behind it with some Zatarain's garlic and herb seasoning. And then we're going to zest it up a little bump with some Zatarain's blackened seasoning. This stuff is going to give it a little kick. And then of course we're going to top it off with Meat Church's honey barbecue rub. Excellent rub for any pork. This stuff really gives you the flavor you need when you're trying to achieve sweet heat on your pork, on your ribs or your butts, anything like that. This is an absolutely incredible rub, and I'm going to be using it as much as I can on my pork. So let's get this thing seasoned up and get it ready for the grill. Okay guys, before we throw our seasoning on, I want to add a binder to this particular cook, because some of the flakes that are in the Zatarain's products are kind of big, and I want to make sure that they stay on the pork butt and don't come off when I'm moving it or turning it around or anything. We're just using basic mustard as a binder. Binder means it's going to hold all the seasoning to the meat. And you know, you're saying mustard, man, that's going to be kind of tough. No, this will cook off there. You won't even know. It won't even be a factor into the taste of the food. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit on here. This doesn't take much at all. We just need a little bit. We're just looking for enough to hold the seasoning on it without, you know, coming off, and making sure it stays on there. So I'm just going to hit all the sides and the ends with just a little bit. So not much. And there you go. That's it. Okay. Get some of this off of me. And then we can go with our rub. Okay. We're going to start out with the smoked salt and cracked black pepper. We're going to put a little fine dusting on there. We're going to get each side in the ends. Now this particular butt, I had my butcher trim it up to my liking. So I'm really, there's no trimming that I need to do to it. I mean, it looks wonderful. So that's why you're not seeing me do any trimming on it. If you get a good butcher and you have a good relationship with him, when you go buying some of your favorite meats, just ask them. They'll trim stuff up for you. They'll help you in any way they can. Most of those guys are really good. Okay, now we're going with the Zatarain's garlic and herb. We get that on. Little pat. We're going to go with the Zatarain's blackened seasoning. This stuff is really going to give it some flavor right here, buddy. All right, little pat. And all I'm going to do is flip it to each side and do the same thing until I get it all done. I've already got the pepper. We're gonna get this seasoned down with this on the end. All right, do the bottom. Give it a little pat. All right, that's all in. A little bit more of this. Okay, we got this down. Now we've got the fat side that we're going to, this is what we're going to put on the grill, fat side down. But I do want to take my knife and score it a little bit. Just put a few marks in it. There's not a lot on here, but I want to make sure that the seasoning will get down in there. And get down in that meat good. Okay, now we're going to top it off with Meat Church's Honey Barbecue Rub. We're going to do the fat side first. Now we're going to put a good amount of this on here, and don't let that bother you because this is a pretty nice size butt, and it can handle it. It can definitely handle it. So we're going to get that in. We're going to get all 4 sides. Well, 6 sides. All right. And then on the top, we're really going to put a nice coating. So we can get a nice, beautiful bark on this. This is what this will do. Of course, we're going to do the sides. Give them some love. All right. Get the end. All right, folks. So we got that. We're gonna pat it in good. We got a little extra here on the board. Just sop it up in there. Get it all on there. There's no right or wrong way. Just make sure you get it on there. And if you have to redo a little, go ahead. Some of it gets off. That's no big deal. I'm just going to touch it up again. And there we go. All right. So now we're going to let this rest for a little while. I'm going to go outside and get the pit boss fired up and get it up to temperature. We're going to be cooking today at 300 degrees. And this cook is going to go anywhere from 6 to 7 hours. You know, everything cooks a little different depending on what you have. But that's pretty much as long as it's going to take. But we're going to look for tenderness and temperature. Not really worry about the time. It'll be done when it's done, right? So I'll see you guys out at the grill as soon as I get this thing heated up and let this butt rest a little bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're out at the pit boss. We got it up to temperature at 300 degrees. It's time to open it up and get this butt to cooking. I transferred it onto a wire rack to make it easier to pick up and move around. So we're going to set this on the grill, a little bit on to the left side. There we go. All right, we got our probe. We're going to stick our probe in there, right in the middle of it. Now what we're looking for is 165 degrees. And when we reach that temperature, we're going to pull it back off. We're going to put it in a pan, cover it with foil, and set it back on there until we get a temperature of 200 to 205 degrees, somewhere up in there, and it'll be done by then. Now, throughout the day, we'll be checking it, and might have to spritz it a little bit if it starts getting dry. So initially, I'm gonna set the timer for 1 hour, and I'm gonna come back and check it, and whatever it needs, I'm gonna give it, and we'll just go from there. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, we're at the 1 hour mark. We're starting to get some nice color to the meat. The temperature's getting close to 80 degrees internally, so we got a ways to go. I'm going to set it for another hour, and then we'll come back and check it, and we're probably going to start spritzing it by then, so I'll check back in a little bit. Okay guys, we're into our second hour. The timer just went off. Let's open up the pit boss and see what we got. Oh yeah, it's getting some great color to it. It's cooking up well. The internal temperatures is about 131 degrees, so we got about 30 more degrees to go, and then we're going to pull it off and wrap it and then put it back on. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of with a little spritz right now. Just loosen it up a little bit, make sure it doesn't dry out on it. Just give it a little touch up. Alright, I'm going to close it back down. We're going to set our timer for another hour, and I'll check it periodically back and forth, but the hour by hour is how I'm doing it. So I'll do that, and then I'll be back and we'll see where we're at that point. Okay guys, it's been about another hour, closer to an hour and a half. I just walked out. We got the probe stuck in the pork butt. We're sitting there at 164, 165 degrees. It looks absolutely beautiful. The color is perfect on it. It's browned up the way I wanted. So now we're going to take it inside. We're going to wrap it up, and then we're going to bring it back outside. So I'll see you inside in just a minute. Okay guys, we're back in the kitchen. We've taken the pork butt off of the pit boss. We brought it in here. We took it off the wire rack, and now we have it in an aluminum baking pan. We're going to cover it up, and we're going to return it back to the grill until it finishes cooking. But before we cover it up, we're going to do a little something to add a little extra sweetness to it. Now we've got a lot of seasoning on here, so we've got some heat. We've got a little bit of sweet and probably a little more heat. So now I'm gonna balance it out a little bit with some sweet. I'm gonna take a little bit of brown sugar, and I'm gonna sprinkle it on top. A little bit on top here. And of course I'll let some go to the bottom. That'll just add to the juices. Okay? And then I have some local honey. I'm going to take a little bit of local honey and just drizzle a little bit of local honey on top of it. And if some goes down the sides, that's even better. All right. We got that. And now we're ready to cover it. I'm going to get my foil. Just cover it up real tight. All right, I'm using heavy duty foil. Some people use 2 pieces. Wrapping it this way in a pan, I don't think you need to use but one. But I do recommend the heavy duty aluminum foil. Got it sealed up real good. There it is. All right, we're going to take this back out to the pit boss. Set it back on there, and we're going to check it in about an hour. And what we're looking for now is we're looking for about 200. Okay guys, we're out here at the grill. I just wanted to show you what this is going to look like. We've got it back on the pit boss. We stuck our probe in it. We've got our timer set for an hour, and we're looking for an internal temperature of between 200 and 205 degrees. It's going to take a little while for that to do that, but I like to check on things about every hour or so. So I'll keep you posted as I go along. Okay, be right back. Okay guys, we're back out at the grill. We just lifted up the lid. I'm looking at the temp. We're sitting right at 205. We're probing at 205, 203, 204, different places. This is going to be close enough. We're going to go ahead and get this off the grill and get it inside the kitchen, and we're going to let it rest. So I'll see you back inside. Okay guys, we got the pork butt back in the house, resting on the chop block. We're going to take the cover off and take a look at it. kind of peel it back a little bit. Oh my goodness, look how beautiful this is. This is absolutely incredible. And the smell is just gorgeous. We've got drippings in here that we're going to put back on the meat. We can smell the honey and the brown sugar. We can smell the seasoning. It's just all brought in together. The bone is simply just about to come out on its own. So we're going to sit and let this rest for a few minutes, probably about 30 minutes. And then we're going to come back and we're going to tear into it and give it a taste test and see how it is. So we'll be right back. Okay guys, the time has finally come. Our pork butt has rested about 30 minutes. It smells delicious. It looks wonderful. The color on it is just unbelievable. So it's time to break this thing up and see what we got. All right. So the bone, look at this. So the bone just comes right out. Look at that. Absolutely clean. One good indication that this thing is thoroughly cooked. Absolutely. We're going to throw that to the side and we're going to get into this. Oh my goodness. Just take a look at this meat. It's got a good smoked flavor to it. The smell is wonderful. It is so juicy. It's unbelievable. So let me get into this. So we're just going to break this apart. The meat on here is just incredible. It's steaming hot even after sitting for 30 minutes. You can let it rest a little longer if you like. You could probably let it rest for up to 2 hours easily, and it's still going to be piping hot. I do have oven gloves on under these nitrile gloves, so this is why I'm not getting burned, or else I would be hollering. Well, there we go, folks. Now we're breaking this apart in the same pan that we have these wonderful juices in. Remember, we put the brown sugar and some honey on top to let that seep in and seep around and get to the bottom. So now we have this going back into the meat as well. And this just adds to the flavor anymore. So I'm mixing this up as we speak. And this is going to be ready to go. Oh, the smell is just incredible. Just take a look at this. Take a look at this. Unbelievable, huh? It's so hot. There's only one thing left to do, and that's for me to take a little taste of it. So here we go. Oh, this is absolutely incredible. It's got the right amount of spice. It's got a sweetness to it. It's got a smoked flavor to it. It is absolutely incredible. I can't wait to get this served up for the family. We have some street tacos, they call them. It's little mini tortilla shells, and we have some sliders. This is how we're doing our eats tonight with that. And of course, you can do it on anything. You can do it on hamburger or just regular bread, hot dog buns, whatever you choose, or just sit here and pick and eat it. This is probably what I might do. But this whole cook took about 6 hours and 42 minutes. And it was very easy. We didn't have to do a whole lot to it. We had to wait for it to come up to temp, which it did. Like I said, we were looking for that 203, 205 mark, and it just so happened I hit it right on that 203, 205, probing it around, so it came out perfect. It's completely done, safe to eat, and I'm going to bring this into the family, and we're going to enjoy it. So I want to thank y'all for watching, and I hope you get a chance to try this. It's very easy to do, and it's so good. And even if you don't have a pellet grill, if you're doing it on a charcoal grill, all you're doing basically is keeping up with your temperature and getting your temperature set right for whatever it is you're cooking. You don't necessarily have to have a pellet grill. Pellet grills do make it a lot easier. You can do it with whatever you like. And of course, you can always cook it in the oven. You're just not going to get all that smoke flavor that you would on a grill. But nonetheless, this will be good with the seasoning that I have and the process in which I did this. You will thoroughly enjoy it, I guarantee you. So like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I appreciate you guys watching. And I'm John with Southern Exposure. and we'll see you next time.